Right, today's episode of the Pole Line, we have the champ's in the house, the 2023 New South Wales sidecar champion, Jack Summerling. How you going today, bud?
Excellent, mate. Glad to be on board finally. It's been a while, bit of a in the making, trying to make it happen, but we're here, so.
A quick background about you. I've known of you from James Hinton Racing years ago. I didn't realise it was you on the back after all these years, but a quick background. We've got your dad, Steve Sharky Summerling, was part of the famous 89 tour in the Australian team over in England. Now, some of the people you've been on with as a junior, you're on with Hutto. As a senior, you've been on the back with Justin Playstead, Trelaw, Hudson, Chris Pym. Like the name just continues. So how's this all start, bud?
Obviously from Sharky, so it all started when he was riding. Obviously just growing up around the Speedway sidecar family, and one thing led to another. Obviously we're real close with Phil Hudson, Shane Hudson. So Phil got me on the back with Shane when I was 15. I'm about 2 years older than Shane, I think. So I only done one season on the junior block with Shane. And then I got on with Chris Pym when I turned 16, just turned 16. And my first meeting was at Gosford Showground. And Trelaw and all your bonds and that were riding then. It was a good meeting. I actually fell off in practice on my first lap on a senior bike. Come off in the first corner, I was just shitting myself. And then we ended up making the final, and we blew a gearbox in the final. We went out and, went infield. So we made the final first meeting. But, no, it was good times. And then after I done a season with Chris Pym, and then I got on with Phil, Shane's dad. I think I done a season or two with him, lots of laps. So it was just real good experience on the bike. Then I finished with Phil. I got on with James, and I done two seasons with him, 2 or 3 seasons maybe, and we done well. We making the finals everywhere we went. We won an Australian long track title at Tamworth Showground together. 3rd in New South Wales titles. We were at the pointy end. And then after James, I think I had about a 2-year break off the bike, and I got a phone call of Justin Playstead, and he wanted me to have a skid with him. And I think I'd done 2 or 3 meetings at Curry with him, and then I think I went and do an Australian title, but something happened. We've got to put the forms in or something. I don't know what happened. Something happened. And then I got on with Darren rang me up. We done a couple of meetings at Curry as well. And it was a good experience just to have ride with these top blokes at a top level and just take everything like a big sponge. And now we've put it into our own team, what we're doing now. So it's just, everything's just, you just take everything in, and it's all a big learning curve, and put it into what we're doing now.
Without the help of the following partners, none of this is able to happen. There's continuous running costs, flights, all these sort of things. And without the help of these people, none of this happens. So please go like their social medias, please follow their groups, and continue to support those who continue to support me. Thank you.
You know, you haven't been on with slouches, and obviously the proof's in the pudding now with you taking on board with your team.
You get on with these people, and it's like you sort of feel, is this real? But it happened, and you just take it all in. Just like I said, like a big sponge, just take all the information in, everything and get out of it. That's all you can say pretty much. Just try and take everything from these professionals that have done it and been there and done the laps, and they've shown the results, so they are the best. And we're trying to get there now in our own team.
or nationally, Pitty's a wizard when it comes to motors and stuff like that. But how vital to your team has Pitty been?
Mate, he's the absolute backbone of this team. And Nathan as well, he's an awesome passenger. But the hours he puts into us and just the development on our bike, the setup, the engines he builds for us, everything that's all just, no one knows what goes on behind the scenes and the hours that gets put into our race team. And mate, we're literally only going as well as we are because we have him on our team. He's took a step back from riding. Obviously, he's a real good rider himself, but he's just opened up a new business, H&B Engines and Machining at Toronto. So he's down that alley now, and which I support him 110% because you can't just race what we do. You can't make a living out of it like the solo guys do. But so now he's just jumped on with me and trying to support me in going good. And I've got Nathan on, and he's our passenger. And we're going good so far, so we're just going to give it our best shot.
Now, around Tamworth, that little Honda you guys are on is absolutely on fire. Like, sometimes I do this and people might think I'm weird, but every now and then the track, I'll just shut my eyes a minute and just sort of hear what I can hear. And you guys, that thing sounds so snappy and so crisp. Why are you guys so fast around Tamworth?
Probably not the fastest around there, but we've been putting in the laps there. That's where the meetings have been. So I think so obviously we had that big crash in Adelaide and we had a bit of a chassis issue and we fixed that up. Pitty fixed that up for us and got it to where we wanted. We done one meeting there and I just couldn't turn the thing and we made a few adjustments for the next meeting after it and just seemed to get better and better as the meetings went on. I think we done about 4 or 5 meetings there in a row. I think it was the first one we done a club day. Well, I think we come third in the final, pretty sure, to Jake Trelaw and Hemsworth. We had a bit of a tangle up in the first corner, but that's racing and we kept on going. And then the next one after that was the East Coast sidecar roundup, and we're off to a rough start with just bike setup and all that to begin with, and then we end up getting the job done in the final. We won that, and then I'm pretty sure after that one we had another club day, and I actually got Pitty to jump on the back with me because Nathan was busy because he just had a baby. So I got the mechanic on the back to get, and we won that meeting as well. We won that club day. And then there was another one after that. That was the Mick Farrell sidecar stampede. And we had it pretty dialed in by the time we got to that meeting, and we won that. And then from that meeting to the New South Wales title, we just went there, and we weren't we didn't feel the greatest in practice, but it's funny, every time I've gone there, the track's been different and changed, so you're always constantly changing something. But we went there and we actually went out in practice and we put the seat on and the plugs come out from the fuel pumps and the bike stopped on me in practice. So I reckon if you have a bad practice, you're going to go good in the meeting. But we got there, mate. We seemed pretty fast all night and we gave it our best, and it was a real hot day. Like, I was absolutely exhausted by the final. It was hard work, really hard work. I'm not the fittest bloke either. So
now I want to touch on a couple of things from the New South Wales titles, because I know you sooks down south say how hot it is, and it was a dry heat, but I will give it to you. It was hot that day. It wasn't Queensland hot, but it was definitely hot. And I could see you. And I think I even said to you at one point, I was like, take your bloody helmet off. Like, get some air in, bro. Because there was a few periods there was a bit of a wait time. But it was funny talking to you before you even went out and practice. You weren't real stoked on sort of the bike and everything there. It wasn't really, put it this way, you weren't sitting back playing games on your iPhone. It was all systems go. But then I started watching, I think it was Heat 1, you guys and Hutto and that, and you guys were absolutely flying. And during that meeting, if I'm being honest, that meeting was Shane Hudson's to lose, but you guys were the top a team next to him. So throughout the meeting, I could see something was happening, and it was pretty exciting for me. When did you guys sort of see that job's on? You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I knew from our first heat. Well, actually, in saying that, Nathan was actually sick, like, before the meet, and he was crook, like, throwing up, was not well at all, like, to the point where I thought, I think he's going to actually pull the pin on me. Like, he was not well at all. We had a few carburation issues in the pits and whatnot. You would have seen that. But anyway, we got on. Just keep hydrated, keep giving Nathan water. But, yeah, we went out for the first heat, and we had Hutto. I think we got out in front of him for half a lap, and then he come under us. We ran a little bit wide, got filled in. And as you know, once you get filled in, it's really hard to make up some ground on the person in front of you. It's just like getting hit by a sandblaster. But, yeah, that was our first heat. And I think our second heat, I think we won every heat after that, actually. And I thought, right, over the bike's dialed in now. The track's coming to us. Let's just do our thing. Let's just get points. Oh, actually, no, I dropped a heat to Rick Stevens. I think it was my last heat. And that was a really good race between me and Rick on that one. We'll just tit for tat, but I was like, I knew where I was in the points. So I didn't want to do anything stupid and go pushing anyone out of the way or making any mistakes. So I'm like, I just need these 2 points. Let's just keep it going, finish the race, and got us straight into the final. So that's what we were chasing all day. And we done it, and we just, it's just a real mental game just to try and keep focused and know what we're doing. And, yeah, real team effort for the boys.
Now, there's two things I want to touch on in that answer there. First of all, the race of the night by far was that race between you guys and Rico. Yous were absolutely changing passes, and it was all clean. There was no grub moves. But, man, Rico was on fire, and so were you guys. And it was actually hard to film it because I just wanted to put the camera down and just watch because it was killer. Now, in the actual final, you guys got out the hole so well. Like, if I'm being honest, I thought if Hutto got out the hole, I thought you guys would have had dramies, but he's got out the hole really well, and pretty much you just put a fork in it. As soon as you got out the hole, it was done.
I'd say in my head, every time I go around to the tapes, I'm like, win the gate, win the race, win the gate, win the race. I just keep saying it to myself, and you just got to get out the gate, especially around there. Not just there, everywhere. You just got to gate well, and we focus a lot on gating. It's a massive part. Like, you know, like if you get a bad gate, then you got to chase down 3 other blokes with dirt hitting you in the face. So if you try and make it happen before the first corner and you're out in front and you got clean air, you just go for it and hold her on. And, obviously do your best and try and stay in front. But, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed I kept watching the laps tick over, and I was expecting a big run from someone to try and put a bit of a dampener on your title run, but it wasn't happening. You guys just kept pulling and pulling and pulling, and I was really paying attention to Nathan on the back because he was like pretty much diving himself into the ground like a shovel, and it was working a treat. Like, I remember watching him coming out of 2 or coming into 2 and coming back out. He was literally like diving his entire body all the way through the track, coming back up all the way back, and then bang into 3. Like, it was pretty cool to watch, man.
Yeah, it does work. It sort of works like an anchor. So if you've ever swung on one and done lots of laps, you can dig yourself in, and it sort of pulls the front end of the bike around to help you turn it when your bike's driving that hard. But yeah, there's no taking any credit away from Nath. He knows how to get a bike around. And like I said, it's 50% the rider and passenger, 50% bike. So I'll probably a bit more real with the passenger. But no one understands how big of a role the passenger makes on the bike. when it all works together, you get the results and you're going fast, and it's no better feeling once everything's all working together and you're winning races and you're just feeling good on the bike. And yeah.
Now, I do want to talk back on the crash in Adelaide at Gillman at the Aussies last year. You had your former passenger Marty on the back. Dude, that was one of the biggest bin jobs that I've ever seen without no one going to hospital. What was the deal there?
Obviously, we haven't even rode there before. So that was our first meeting ever to ride there. And I think it just went from bad to worse just from the get-go. We went out for practice. We blew a clutch after 1.5 laps, done a clutch, come back in. Piddy's just flat out getting it ready. I think we went back out for one more practice. By the time it finished, there was a few sessions and that. We got out there, pumped out a few laps, and then we went out for the first heat. And then it was the first lap. And I think April Cottrell fell off the back of Chris Walker. So it was a rerun. And then we've gone out again. We made an okay gate behind Mac's house and then just filled in. And we ran wide. Chairwheel went up the fence, spun us around backwards. I think Saunders clipped us in the rear, spun us around. He ended up backwards as well. And last thing I remember was just going backwards, and that was it. I was out cold. I remember just waking up to the medic going, "You look green. You look like the Hulk." I'm just like, I don't know where I was, but no one's fault. Just a racing incident, mate. We, it just happens. These things happen in racing, and especially when you can't see where you're going.
Well, the funny part about that track is there's Chapo does a great job down there, and at the SA title, the track was, so deep underwater, and he ended up getting it back and giving it a racing service. But a lot of guys in sort of our area of like Queensland and New South Wales and that, the tracks are very solo style where they're very slick. So was it a massive change going to a track that's super heavy, super driving?
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's massive setup changes on a sidecar, like going from a slicker track to a heavy track, especially with new tyres and that. It's just, it's like you basically start again pretty much with your bike setup. But I mean, in saying that, you sort of prepare for it and you get a few tips off people, like, give you a couple of ideas what to do. But at the end of the day, you're riding the bike and not everyone's riding the same bike as you. So they're all numbers. You just got to make your own bike work with your team. But I guess any help that's thrown your way, you take on and use that as a guide. But yeah, like I said, it's different when you're on the actual bike.
Backs with a sidecar, it's not like sprint cars where you can jump on the sim and do heaps of laps at home in the bedroom and then go out and be competitive. It's pretty much learn as you go.
Yeah, it is. You can't really, like we ride dirt bikes and that all the time. Because I live in Curry, so it's real good dirt bike riding out here. But it's hard to get fit for, like just bike fit and just doing the laps. And it'd be great to ride every weekend, but you just can't do it. It's not, everyone works, and it's an expensive sport to do and keep a good bike running and, up to standard with all these big fast riders. But we do our best to do as many laps as we can and travel when we can. So, yeah.
Speaking of travel, I just did an interview with Ash Shields, and he was telling me that you showed him a quote to get all your stuff over to WA, and it's not cheap, mate. So everyone from the East Coast is in a similar boat where they're all trying to get this stuff over to WA. But just how tough is it for you to get everything you need to WA for the Aussies this year?
Oh, it is hard, mate, but I'm lucky enough to have a few people help me out. Russell Mitchell's got me onto a bloke over there, and he's going to help me out getting my bike there. Flights are so expensive. I think there's 6 of us going. It's not cheap at all, but it's good having the help we do. Like I said, Russell Horry Payne's the bloke that's helping me get the bike over there. So massive thanks to him just for reaching out and helping me get there, and Russell as well, just for helped me to get there. Mick Farrell, he lined it up for me as well with Russell. You can't thank anyone enough that put the time and effort into helping you get over there.
Yeah, it's funny that there's so much that goes on behind the scenes because even with what I do, I've got races really are one in the shed. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, 100%, mate. It's yeah. You hit the nail on the head there. It's ridiculous time that goes into these things, but when you love it, you just do it and you make it happen. And then when it all pays off in the end, you just go, well, all them hours we've spent has made it worth it. But yeah, it's 100% massive hours in the shed, look, every day.
Now, I want to know, you've already sort of touched on it with, talking to yourself leading up and trying to make sure you get gates and stuff, but have you got any superstitions while you're racing? Not exactly while I'm racing. I'm just sort of, I get in the zone and, yeah, I'm not really thinking about anything else but finishing that race and finishing first, obviously. But, yeah, no superstitions. I mean, on the way to the meetings, man, the boys just take the piss out of each other and just stir each other up and just hurl abuse at each other. And, we love it. It's good. Yeah, it's good fun. Now, I've got a bone to pick with you guys as competitors. You're all jerks, man. I'm aging so rapidly from just being around you. I feel like your mum every time I'm at the track because, it's in a race, I'll be cheering for you, then Hutto and, Nishi and whoever. And it's bloody stressful doing what I do, man.
It's one big Speedway family, mate. We all love each other and, we all just want to go there, race hard, come home safe, and everyone's happy. Have a beer after the meeting and talk about all the bullshit. But no, it's good. It's a good atmosphere, and I love it. I'm not changing nothing.
Now, I want to ask, what's probably your most embarrassing moment you've had while racing that you've sort of kept quiet?
Oh, probably. I think you've got on video when it was at Brisbane. Me and Puddy were riding together, and I started the bike and ran straight into the pit gate fence. That was probably my best effort, I think.
I actually totally
he didn't jump on in time and it just floated and just turned right, went straight to the pit gate.
I actually totally forgot about that until you just told me because there's so much going on. I'll actually have to dig through that. That was killer.
Yeah.
But who would you like to thank for what they've sort of helped you with? I know you're going to forget some, but just try and rattle off some of the people that have been so helpful to your career and your team.
The Hudsons, I've grown up around it. I talk to Phil Hudson a lot, and he's helped me with a lot of things in my short career with riding anyway. Shane Hudson, everyone, Chris Pym. I've just had Glenn Verk. I've had a lot of people just in the background, phone calls, just guidance. It's good just to have other eyes around the track to give you pointers and what to do, and you're doing this, you're doing that, and you just try and take it all in and make it happen on the track. Obviously, Brad Pitt, he's my best mate, one of my main sponsors, does way more, goes above and beyond for this team. Nathan, passenger, Henny Bissett, that's Brad's business partner. Same again, he's going to come over to Western Australia with us. All my sponsors, Shorelink, they help me out. DC Tuning, Atlantic Oils. I can't thank them enough. You just can't do it without these great people behind you. Every little bit all adds up to one, and just it makes racing so much easier and cost effective. You can't do it without them.
The team's going well, everything's building, and that's really cool to watch. Is a full team building towards something like a common goal, and I'm really looking forward to see how you guys go over in the West Coast.
Yeah, mate, we're going to definitely give it our best. We're in my head, we're going there to win it. Results might show otherwise, but in my head and our team's head, we're going there to win it and give it our best. I normally just go out in a race and I'll just tell the boys I don't even want to know who's in the race. Just tell me what colour helmet colour I'm wearing, and I'm going out, and that's it. pretty much. But yeah, as I said, mate, the sponsors, like, we can't do it without them. H&B Engine Machining, Shorelink, Atlantic Oars, DC Tuning. Just absolute wrapped with just having these people behind me to do what I love best, really.
Well, man, I'm stoked that we finally got to have the chat that I've wanted, and I'm even more stoked that you guys took out the New South Wales title. But thanks for being on the pole line, man. This has been killer.
No, awesome, Dave. I appreciate it, mate. I appreciate what you're doing for the Speedway sidecar and solo, like just Speedway in general, mate. We need someone like you to promote the sport, and you're doing it, and we all back you 110%, mate, and we appreciate it.
Killer, mate.